Russia is about to take Ukraine's best brigades and best positions into encirclement. It's day 806 of Russia's operation in Ukraine. Let's dive deeper. Starting from Crno Herka. Russian forces continue to develop their operation on the village from two axes. However, since the last 2 days, the situation here has taken an interesting turn. Previously, we saw how they captured this entire industrial area from the Ukrainian forces. But one of the commanders of Ukrainian forces claimed that only a small Russian group managed to enter the industrial plant, after which their supplies were cut, as they are under Ukrainian fire. Despite the claim, visual evidence does suggest that Russian forces do hold this area. However, major development came from the second axis. Since the previous two reports, I have been telling you guys about the Russian assault on these two streets, and have also discussed their intention to put pressure on the city from two sides. Today, finally, we got the confirmation. It is now confirmed that Russian forces have taken full control of these two streets. As per several other sources, it is claimed that Ukrainians have withdrawn in the direction of the hospital, as fights have been reported around it. Furthermore, this entire area is roughly considered a gray zone, because Russian forces are clearing it. Now you might say, how is this significant advance? It is still two streets with around 10 houses. Let me explain it further. After receiving multiple reports from both sides, it seems like Russia is planning to take this entire eastern part into encirclement. As I have reported earlier, they are already fighting around the hospital. And at the southern axis, recently they were seen targeting Ukrainian positions with large caliber mortars, which indicates that they will start storming it next. This means that there is only less than 800 meters left before the Russian forces close the gap. This means that if Ukrainian forces do not counterattack at any of these two axes, they might probably have to withdraw from the entire eastern side. This means they will lose their best positions in the city. As the gap is less than 800 meters, it seems like the situation is already critical. Because one of the paratrooper units of Ukrainian forces, after acknowledging the Russian breakthrough at the northeast, said that, because of the recent Russian development, in coming days fights might shift to the northwestern part of the city. Many sources after hearing this statement believe that the withdrawal process has already begun. However, I was not able to confirm the withdrawal. But if they decide to withdraw, then they should do it fast, because if Russians get closer, then it would be chaos. And don't forget, some of their best brigades like their paratroopers are fighting here. Furthermore, Russian FPV drones were seen striking several Ukrainian positions in the city with high accuracy. If you are interested, the video is available on our Telegram channel. Now, before we move further, if you like my report and are a regular viewer, it would help our channel if you like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out our official merch and channel membership to further support the channel. Now moving to the southern front, particularly to the Staromayersky sector. Russian forces were recently able to make significant gains in Staromayersky. However, let's first start with Urena. Previously, we saw Russian forces were able to enter the southern part after the recent attacks. In addition, I told you that fights that are going to take place will be very, very intense, just like the first battle. There are some sources who believe that attacking the village head-on will be very costly for Russians, so instead they should take the heights located eastwards, and then attack the village from both the sides, which will then be relatively easy to push Ukrainians out. However, some Russian sources disagree. But recent Russian advances indicate that they are in fact considering this option. As per latest report, after the attack by Russian forces on these open fields with armored vehicles, they were able to capture this area. Now there is one interesting video, which has confused many Ukrainian sources. When the video starts, we can see Russian BTR moving from the north to south along this road. Along the way, several attempts were carried out by Ukrainian units to destroy it, but they all failed. Video cuts before we can see what happened to the Russian BTR next. But the Ukrainian sources are confused about how it reached the northern part in the first place. It was clear that it came there to discover the Ukrainian positions in the village, so their artillery could target it. Now just a few hundred meters west, their fellow units made significant advances. It is reported that Russian forces since the last 48 hours have started attacking Staromayersky. Looking at the topographic map, we see that the village is on a lower elevation, and there are higher elevated positions west of the village. As I have said earlier, this village has been in ruins after the Ukrainian counteroffensive. So considering all this factor, they started attacking the village from the western side. And they were very successful, as they broke the first line of defense, and took this whole area under their control. Now carrying their momentum further, without wasting any time, they launched their first assault on the southern part of the village. Today it was confirmed that they were able to enter and capture 20% of the village. Now if Russian forces continue to advance like this, where they attack the village from the dominant height, they will be able to advance much further. This will also have an effect on neighboring Urena. Now there is one interesting rumor. Many Russian sources are now saying that there has been disagreement between one of the commanders of Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade and the commander-in-chief. 3rd Assault Brigade is the same one which came to rescue Ukrainian forces in Avdiivka during their withdrawal. Some even claim that the unit might be disbanded. However, there has been no official statements regarding this. You have to understand, things like this are not confirmed until the last moment. We saw something similar happen during Zaluzhny. Yesterday, Russia launched one of their massive long-range strikes against Ukraine, in which they used different types of missiles and drones. As the information coming from the front needs to be verified, we will not discuss these strikes in today's report. Now, as you already know, as Ukraine is facing a shortage in their air defense systems, since the beginning of this operation they have been requesting more and more countries to help them, by sending their air defense to Ukraine. One of the requests was sent to Greece. However, the Greek Prime Minister again said that Greece cannot send its Patriot or S-300 to Ukraine, because they need them. Furthermore, recently one of the Ukrainian officials claimed that they have now caught up with Russian in production of Garand-type drones. Now lately there has been many talks about sending Western troops to Ukraine. While many countries oppose this idea, some are seeing it as a solution. Recently the Lithuanian foreign minister said that sending Western personnel to train Ukrainian troops on the ground would have practical advantages. Many Russian sources believe that officially sending Western troops could very well change this operation, but not in a good way. Before we conclude this report, I would like to inform you that we will cover the Avdiivka sector in the next report. Subscribe for more frontline updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.